various reasons, such as connections with the West, and then also, while still well maintained or connected with China as well. And along with that, if you talk about the traveling or just the conveniency of Hong Kong, within the 4 hour circle, if you travel by plane, you actually reach all the major market in Asia. And so because of that, it's also a very strategic location for a lot of companies, corporations and whatnot. And recently you probably heard about Hong Kong concerning the civil unrest and whatnot. That's given that it's because of the international status it has. There's a lot of newspaper, press that is present in Hong Kong, and that is also why you heard so much about the civil unrest. But of course, that's kind of sort of like past us as of now. After the passing of national security law since July, Hong Kong has been, everything quiet down peacefully. And so everything is kind of running as normal, sort of. I'll go into like how COVID-19 affect Hong Kong during this time. Other than that, of course, it might be a little less known in Indonesia from what I experienced. But Hong Kong is actually a really good place for university destination. In Hong Kong, there are 8 government-funded universities. 5 of them actually ranked within 100. Of course, Poly being one of them. And so going into that, you see that the pins on the map. The map is actually the Hong Kong map, and the pins are actually the university location located in Hong Kong. And PolyU represented by our logo, and of course behind me right here. So we actually right in the middle of the city. So zooming in, if you have been to Hong Kong, Tsim Sha Tsui is actually the downtown of Hong Kong, and PolyU is actually right next to it. And so it's really convenient to get around. And you see all those little red symbol. This is actually the metro symbol, or the MTR we call it. And so it's actually the most easiest way to travel around Hong Kong. And it's given that you see the close proximity of 4 different metro stations that is right next to us. And so if you talk about, traveling around Hong Kong, exploring Hong Kong, PolyU is actually right in the middle. It's the most convenient way to, explore in a sense. And so other than that, given, say, all those opportunities in Hong Kong, because of all the multinational corporations, Hong Kong also have a really attractive scheme for non-local graduates. And so how it started in Hong Kong, basically after 7 years of stay, you actually get your permanent residency. So permanent residency meaning you can stay without any special conditions for as long as you want in Hong Kong, but you're not like an actual citizen, so you don't have to give up whatever citizenship you have. And so that's a flexibility that we offer. And so in a sense, the 7 years actually started as you start your bachelor degree. So your 4 year of study, and afterwards, what IANG is, immigration arrangement for the non-local graduates. It's basically after you graduate, you have 1 year visa-free extensions of your staying in Hong Kong. And so assuming if you work during that time, you can actually get your employer to sponsor you for the remaining 2 years, and thus satisfying the 7 years after staying in Hong Kong and getting the permanent residency. And a lot of students afterwards, they might consider, okay, well, now I can springboard to, say, one of the Western country for my master's degree or whatnot. Given that Hong Kong, of course, the experience that you gather in the working fields, of course, is recognized. If you work in one of the, say, multinational corporations, it'll even be better for you in that sense. All right, so going in, of course, you heard about the civil unrest, and PolyU was kind of make the front newspaper because we were actually occupied by the protesters for a while, for better or worse reason. But of course, afterwards, actually that was last year, November. But in December, we already gained back control of the campus, and every renovation went started. And so as of now, we installed new gates. There are more security staff employed. And so in that sense, safety is ensured. So on the right-hand side is actually our COVID-19 stats. So this is taken 2 days ago. As of now, we have nearly 5,000 cases. For a while, we actually encountered the second wave. And so for a while, a few weeks, we actually have more than 100 cases per day. But recently, within this 1 week, actually the cases already dropped below 100. And so yesterday is around 20 some cases. So in a sense, in Hong Kong, is people are well aware of what's happening, and also the government is also, imposing different restrictions. But concerning restrictions, people are actually, without telling them, they're already wearing masks, and things are well stocked. And in the beginning, for a while, there's a little panic, so things are kind of running out. But as of now, everything is well stocked, and there's no, fear in general in the public in that sense. And there's also no lockdown in a sense, so we can actually go wherever we want. But of course, people will still, get the mask on. And as of now, actually, dinner in the restaurants can only be takeout. But actually, I think tonight is the first night that will reopen a lot of the restaurants until 9 p.m. So hopefully that will, also encourage the, sort of the economy in a sense. All right, so getting into PolyU. So a lot of people might misunderstood that, oh, Hong Kong is part of China, thus you need to know Chinese. Actually, that's not true if you only study in Hong Kong. English is the only official medium of instruction, so you do not need to know Chinese or whatnot to actually be able to study in Hong Kong. And for PolyU, all the courses, except of course, if you talk about some, language courses, then they will be taught in, maybe some specific language in that sense. And undergraduates are representing, at least 55 countries or regions. So that's give you the diversity in PolyU presence. And in PolyU, we actually have 6 faculty in 2 schools, or, you can say 8 different disciplines. So I'll go into each of them slowly. So applied science. So that's kind of go back into, just then I mentioned PolyU has been around for a long time. And before that, we are actually government trade school. And so because of that, a lot of our curriculum are applied based. And we want to supply, whatever demanding in the work field. And so it's really applicable. And that's given that as we turn into a university, we also continue to put that elements into our curriculum. And so because of that, all our majors are actually very applied based, very hands-on. And so we don't have some just science topic, but rather apply science topics. So instead of just biology, we actually go into food sciences, food safety, whatnot, ensuring, certain, can producing company or, restaurants and whatnot, that they're up to standards, in terms of lab tests and whatnot, all those kind of things. And out of that, of course, there's engineering physics, so applied physics again. Investment science, that's applied mathematics. And then also another well-known, you can say discipline in PolyU, it's actually fashion and textiles. So it does go into fashion, but also going into material science concerning different garments or whatnot inside textiles, as you, explore what type of material you want to create your clothing with. And other than that, of course, we do have business. Business, of course, is well-known industry in Hong Kong, concerning the financial industries or whatnot. A lot of management firms as well offering business solution to, Asia, business in Asia, basically. So we have our accounting school or, department, and then there's management department, of course, and then also only a unique PolyU feature is that we're going into international shipping. And so one of the most important port in the world, basically, Hong Kong is one of the top 5. If you talk about the traffic, just basic, goods traffic. So Hong Kong is actually a prime location for you to learn about, shipping. And I do know that in Jakarta or Indonesia, it's also, they're exploring more and more options or opportunities in, shipping as well. So that can be one of the, major that you can consider if you're eventually planning to move back to, Indonesia, if you would like. So other than that, of course, civil engineering, we're ranked top 1. We're actually ranked 19th in the world for civil and structural engineering, and 22nd for built environment. So the major are listed down there. If you want to screen cap, that's great. But of course, going into engineering, there's also a faculty of engineering as well. We're ranked 20th in Best Global University for engineering ranking. And we have 7 different departments in engineering faculty. And so given that, a lot of various major or discipline you can go into. There's aviation, computing, mechanical engineering, tons of that. So my colleague can actually post a program list eventually down there in the chat box. So you can check out on that concerning the programs that we offer. We have around 54 majors that student can choose from. Health and social science, um, humanities, going into, say, if you want to study linguistics. Our School of Design, we rank 15th in the world for art and design. Though again, it's not just pure design course, but rather we want to apply those skills into certain industries. So you do have 4 different streams you can choose from: advertising design, communication, environment and interior, and also product design. Oh, by the way, the building that you're seeing here is actually the School of Design building. So all the labs, workshop, whatnot, all those things are actually located in this building itself. So it's designed by Zaha Hadid, one of the famous architects, who actually passed away a couple years ago. But she's quite well known, so you can actually look her up if you would be interested. So last but not least, of course, is our School of Hotel and Tourism Management. This is actually the highest ranking program in PolyU. We are ranked 7 in the world in the hospitality and leisure management. And so the background, you actually see a building. So I just kind of circle around. So this building, it's actually a 5-star hotel called Hotel Icon. If you would like, definitely look it up. It's a 5-star ranking hotel in Hong Kong, by different, websites and whatnot. And so it's actually a PolyU owned hotel. And student, if they're interested to study in, say this faculty, they will be studying inside this hotel itself to get hands-on, experience concerning how to operate a hotel itself. And so for this school, we actually offer 2 streams: hotel management or tourism and event management. And so that's kind of conclude like all the programs that we have, or faculties that we have. But of course, there's different features concerning, different universities. And for PolyU, again, I mentioned about applied base. And so for our students, actually be able to enjoy the strength of PolyU, which is the network with different industries in Hong Kong and also around the world as well. So we have something called work integrated education. And so students, before they graduate PolyU, they will at least finish 1 internship under the belt. And this is actually mandatory, it's required. But the good thing is, PolyU will actually link you with something that is related to your major. And so given, say for example, one of the big, accounting firms, the big 4 accounting firms, all of them are actually PolyU internship partners. And each year they'll actually have set numbers of internship spot for PolyU students. And so it is possible also for students, if they have good performance during their internship period, that they'll be able to get a job offer before they graduate. And so that's really good. And PolyU also boasts a really high graduation rate concerning afterwards, after 6 months, they will be able to find their first job offer already. And so in that sense, it's really good for your career development. And again, our curriculum is also highly related to the work field as of now. So you not only have professors, but also different lecturers from your, specialty in the work field, industries or whatnot. And of course, Poly offer different, opportunities, workshops as well for you to get more, hands knowledge, hands-on experience concerning as of now how it's developing the, industries and whatnot. So to equip you better as you graduate, All right, and another features in PolyU curriculum, there's something called service learning. So we not only just want to equip students with knowledge, but also want you to apply it, into the real world. And while applying it, of course, serving the needies as civil servant and whatnot. And so in that sense, during one of your semester, you actually take a course in the service learning department and be equipped with certain skill set so that eventually you can go out to a certain project that is, going into Rwanda, installing solar panels for one of the rural villages, or teaching English to, underprivileged kids. Or, if you say something related to School of Optometry, You might be doing, the eye testing for some of the students or whatnot in say Cambodia or whatnot. So there's different international opportunities also within, say just our curriculum in that sense. Other than that, of course, we do encourage exchange. This is not required, but it's highly encouraged. And also we have different funding supports for students going out. And so around the world, we have at least 250 partners. Some of the well-known university you see here is, say Imperial College, UCL in England, and then or Britain, or Cornell, McGill, in the Americas, and US, NTU, whatnot. So there's various university partners that we have that you can also go out on one of the semester to go for exchange. And so the good thing about this is actually you do not need to pay extra fees. You'll be paying same rate as PolyU tuition, but you can also go out to say the West. If the West, actually the tuition fee will be a lot higher. I'll actually have a little graph that I found on the QS website. I'll share later on. So other than that, of course, except one of the semester, other than the semester, you can also go out during the summer. There's Oxford program that you can go to Oxford or Cambridge to study the summer program there. Of course, again, these are subsidized program that we will provide funding for students as well. Another type of, their research program, different competition that you would like to join, that's different scheme that will sponsor student with as well. All right, on campus, so what do students actually receive? We talk about physically, mentally, or in terms of career development, whatnot. Health clinic, we have both Western and Chinese medicine. Both of them only cost you 15 Hong Kong dollars. That's equate to $2 per visit. So you'll get consultation and then also prescribed medicine as well. Counseling service, whatever things you encounter, may be fitting into Hong Kong, because things might be fast paced, or maybe during the final exams or whatnot that you feel stressful or whatnot, then there's also a professional counseling team that you can talk to with. And other than that, of course, career development, they link you up with different companies for internship, or eventually as you look for a job, our career placement service also help you with that. And concerning student hall residence, we actually have two dorms, or two halls we call. The two halls are both within walkable distance to PolyU. One of them, it's called the Hong Hom Hall. It's around 5 to 10 minutes walk away from campus. And then the Homentin Hall, it's around 15 to 20 minutes walk from campus. But both of them are also located right next to a metro station. So in that sense, really convenient to go around. And inside the hall, usually it will be a double room. So you'll be sharing a room with another person. The good thing about PolyU, we're flexible in that sense that you can actually put down, if you have a friend coming to PolyU who's of same sex, of course, then you can actually put down the name and for them to put down your name as well. So you guys will be able to room together in that sense. Other than that, if you can also name someone who, or just put, international students. So if you want to, say explore, get to know other students from other countries, that is one of the option as well. And of course, local student is another option. And also inside PolyU in the hall, there's different, events, intramural sports, band, different clubs, dancing club, sing club, or running club, whatnot. There's also different student associations, that you can join in. So they'll have their cultural nights. So of course there'll be an Indonesian student association as well. So I guess Chelsea, who's actually a second year, going to be a second year PolyU student, she can later on share a little bit of her experience in PolyU as well. So concerning curriculum, during the first year, a lot of the times you'll be doing what we call GUR, or General University Requirements. So these are, the basic subjects, you can say, some of the get to know stuff. But after that, during your second and third year, a lot of the time will be spent in your major. If you have the chance, or if you have, if you would like to take extra load, of course, you can also pick up a minor as well. Other than that, there's also other free electives. But during a fourth year, a lot of the time will be spent on what we call capstone project or final year project. So it's something that is supply based again. that is more project based, that you can actually, sort of like writing a paper. But instead of just writing a paper, it will be a project that you will be sharing with a group of people. So some of the people might ask, is double major, possible? Unfortunately, it's not. It's not common in PolyU. A lot of the majors that actually get recognition from certain, say, industry or society or group. And so in that sense, it's really hard to mix in two different curriculum for you to be able to finish within 4 years. And so because of that, it's actually really hard to, doing a double major. And so in PolyU, it is more common for you to pick up a minor instead. So if you have questions, do feel free to ask later on. Concerning entrance requirements, so some general stuff first. There is something called general requirements, so which I'll go into, and then also English requirement and program requirements. So these three elements is a must. So you must satisfy them first as you apply to PolyU. And if those are deemed satisfactory, then there will be an interview that will be arranged by the faculty that you're applying to. So you'll be interviewed by 2 professors at least. So they'll, usually it will be a Skype or, as of now, Zoom would be a lot more prevalent. It'll be online. So in that sense, if everything is good, then you'll be given either a conditional offer or firm offer, depending on if your grades are finalized. Okay. So, okay, I'll go into general requirements. So as of now, for PolyU, we are still putting out completion of your US and also UN. I do understand that there's a change in the UN as of now, but this is how it goes as of now. But of course, PolyU will change depending on the public statement that will be released by the Education Board of Indonesia. So we'll change according to that. But I do know that as of now that you guys probably would not be taking a public exam of UN. So PolyU will adjust on that. But just giving a reference from last year, this is how we usually accept Indonesian students from the Indonesian curriculum. So both completion of US and UN. If you have other stuff, great, but we don't require you to take extra tests. SAT, whatnot, those things, it's optional, unless if you talk about English requirements. So you do need to satisfy one of those. And it's more common for what we see before that students would either take TOEFL or IELTS. So for TOEFL and IELTS, the score is required, it's listed there. As long as you meet the condition, you'll be able to apply to PolyU. So for internet base of TOEFL, it will be 80 or above, or for IELTS, it will be overall band score of 6. Okay, so you can take note of that. All right, concerning tuition fee and scholarship. So for this year, tuition fee is, or actually throughout 4 years, it will be 145,000. Sorry. So I'll do a translation on the next slides. So this is per year, and then also for scholarship, it's actually academic based or merit based in a sense. So depending on your US or UN score in that sense. And then also interview performance would be considered. And so if you do need to perform well on the interview as well in that sense. There are other non-academic scholarship, but it does involve extremely outstanding achievement in, say sporting area or you say music area. So different sort of competition. It does have to go into major competition concerning like say international stage for Poly to consider them. So if you say, oh, I'm a school team of certain sport, I'll say usually that might not qualify for consideration of the sportsmanship recommendation in that sense. All right, so I talked about translation. So from Hong Kong dollars, translating into US dollars, and then also the Indonesian rupiah. So you can see the translation. So for roughly 1 year, if you talk about staying in the dorm, it will cost you 1 year for around 400 million rupiah. And also, I do have to mention, for on-campus housing, it's guaranteed for your first 2 years. All our programs, most of them would be 4 years study. And so given that, your third year and fourth year, a lot of the students will actually gather maybe 4 or 5 of themselves and then go out to rent a flat outside in the city. So the fee does goes up a little higher in that sense. And so here it's kind of give you a general, idea of how much it will cost in that sense. So, and then also I talked about, I'll compare the fees, comparing Hong Kong to USA to other, popular destination. So this is actually found on topuniversities.com. So this is the QS website. So here it's kind of comparing, the general fees or cost of living for per year if you study, say, in USA, UK, Australia, and Hong Kong. And so for Hong Kong, you actually get really quality education compared, to otherwise, the Western countries, but while still maintaining a relatively low cost or more economic, fees in a sense. And so if you talk about USA, if you talk about private universities, that's go even higher compared to what's listed here. And so it's nearly double what you'll be paying in Hong Kong in that sense. And so depending on, of course, there's personal choices, but if you are, financially aware in that sense, Hong Kong can be one of your destinations as well. All right, so concerning application deadline for the next coming school year, so assuming a lot of you guys might be graduating soon, or as you, look for options, whatnot, this you can draw a reference on. But for next year's application, we'll actually start in September 24th of this year, and the early round deadline will be 25th of November 2020. So it'll be, afterwards, it'll be on rolling basis. But if you're considering for scholarship, I'll definitely recommend you to apply by early round, because by main round, a lot of the times, the scholarship funding will be allocated to a lot of students already. And so even if you might be qualifying for a scholarship during the main round, it might be possible that the scholarship fund would already be running low in that sense. And so I would recommend you to considering applying early if you're, going for scholarship or whatnot. And the good thing for us is that, as you apply, one of the section would also be scholarship application. So you do not need to fill in another form or going into another website or page to, for that scholarship. So one stop, you just need to go to PolyU e-portal, do the application. One of the section would be scholarship application. All right. So again, the portal would be poly.edu.hk/admission. So you can learn about that there. But if you're interested, you can also search on Google, study at PolyU, and then you can, click on the, the respective links concerning international students or, whatnot, those kind of things to go to the program list. And so actually, maybe I'll share the link later on as well. But as of now, I guess if you would be interested to learn more about PolyU concerning campus life, whatnot, definitely utilize our online resources concerning Facebook, Instagram, Twitter as well. Also, of course, you can just go on our office website, our Global Engagement Office, GEO. So you can just go to that link to learn more about the opportunities that we offer. But as of now, I guess I'll pass the time to Chelsea for her to share a little bit about her experience in PolyU. So Chelsea, I'll stop sharing now and you can share your screen. Okay, all right, I'll pass the time to you.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Wait a second.
Oh, feel free also to, if you would like to do it in Bahasa, that's, more, relatable in that sense. Feel free.
Like Philip just said, I'm going to deliver this using Bahasa instead because it's more comfortable for me. Jadi selamat pagi teman-teman, aku Chelsea. Perkenalkan nama aku Chelsea. Aku lulusan SMAK 4 tahun 2019 dan aku masuk ke PolyU tahun 2019. Jadi itu sekitar 2 tahun yang lalu. Nah, aku adalah seorang students yang majoring di chemical technology. Jadi aku ada di second year sekarang. Nah, sekarang aku bakal ngasih tahu pengalaman aku gimana rasanya buat sekolah di PolyU. Nah, kalian tahu kan ada keadaan bagaimana di sana di Hong Kong. Nah, di sana aku cuma bisa spend time di sana sekitar 3 bulan. Tapi selama 3 bulan itu aku berhasil dapat banyak banget pengalaman yang menurut aku tuh berkesan banget Dan itu sesuatu yang menurut aku yang akan aku share itu sekarang. Nah, yang pertama adalah saat aku pertama kali pindah ke PolyU, sebelum aku pindah ke Hong Kong, mereka make sure banget buat reach out ke aku. Nah, di sana aku diadain yang namanya program pre-departure yang diselenggarakan oleh IDSA. Seperti yang Philip tadi jelaskan, kalau di setiap negara itu kita punya komunitas sendiri, termasuk dalam Indonesia. Jadi di Indonesia, murid-murid Indonesia di sana punya komunitas namanya IDSA atau Indonesian Student Association. Nah, di sana kita bakal dikasih tahu dan di reach out, mereka bakal reach out ke kita, gimana biar kita make sure bahwa kita tuh siap di sana. Misalkan urusan visa atau urusan gimana cara nyiapin paspor dan cara dapat Hong Kong ID dan budget dan segala macam. Jadi bagi kalian yang baru, bagi kalian yang pikirannya kayak, oh kita ke luar negeri nih, pasti ada rasa takut dong. Nah, untuk di Polius ini, menurut aku tuh nggak usah takut, karena mereka selalu ada komunitas Indonesia di sana yang selalu mau ngebantu kita, dan selalu ada buat kita untuk make sure kalau kita tuh selalu siap di sana. Nah, jadi sebelum bahkan aku ke Hong Kong, mereka udah make sure buat aku tuh siap di sana untuk segala hal administrasinya. Nah, sampai aku pertama kali nyampe di Hong Kong, aku juga disambut lagi oleh komunitas Indonesia di sana. Seperti yang kalian lihat di slide kedua ini, aku diajak makan di sana oleh teman-teman IDSA juga. Nah, sampai di sana, jadi kalian nggak usah takut, bagi kalian yang mungkin pertama kali atau ngerasa takut buat pergi sendiri, buat pergi abroad, study abroad, karena mereka selalu ada buat kita. Nah, yang ketiga adalah, aku juga ngerasain rasanya kumpul-kumpul bareng sama teman-teman IDSA di sana. Jadi setelah kita makan-makan bareng, IDSA ngadain suatu acara yang namanya kumpul-kumpul buat kita kenalan sama teman-teman dan juga senior-senior kita di sana. Nah, selama di sana juga kita bakal diajarin hal-hal yang paling penting di sana, misalkan kayak subject registration, atau gimana caranya buat bayar uang sekolah sendiri, dan segala macam. Nah, di sini kita bakal dikenalin sama senior kita, dan senior itu baik banget dan peduli banget sama kita. Mereka benar-benar friendly banget sama kita. Bahkan waktu pertama kali aku pindah, aku nggak tahu di mana beli sapu atau mungkin kepel gitu. Aku bisa nanya ke mereka. Mereka benar-benar open banget dan mau ngasih tahu ke kita apa yang kita ngasih tahu kayak apa yang kita butuhkan dan gimana cara membantu kita. Jadi pokoknya mereka make sure banget kalau kita tuh ada di bahasa di home gitu. Dan mereka tuh benar-benar friendly banget. Nah, nggak sekedar di dalam lingkup IDSA atau komunitas Indonesia aja, mereka juga nge-welcome kita secara hitungannya sebagai kita seorang international students. Nah, seperti yang Philip tadi jelaskan, kita kan punya 2 dorm, dan aku tinggal di Hung Hom Hall. Nah, di sana ada acara untuk welcome anak-anak internasional juga. Nah, di saat itu kita ada makan-makan dan juga ada acara, dan seperti yang bisa kalian lihat di sini, yang Indonesian students-nya semuanya menggunakan batik. Jadi, sebagai ciri khas kita sebagai orang Indonesia di sana, kita bareng-bareng menggunakan batik. Nah, setelah itu, bahkan nggak sekedar dari lingkup Polyu aja, tapi secara Hong Kong pun menurut aku murid-murid Indonesia di Hong Kong tuh sangat solid. Nah, di minggu pertama kita langsung diajakin acara bareng buat murid-murid sesama anak Hong Kong. Nah, di sana diadakan kegiatan Amazing Race. Bagi kalian yang tahu, Amazing Race itu adalah kegiatan di mana kita ngelakuin mission di beberapa tempat. Nah, di sini kita ngelakuin mission di seluruh daerah Hong Kong, dan termasuk dalam murid-murid lain, seperti murid HKU atau HKUST dan segala macam. Nah, mereka juga benar-benar friendly banget. Menurut aku pribadi, semua anak-anak Hong Kong itu benar-benar baik banget, dan aku sangat tersentuh sih, karena menurut aku kayak itu penting banget buat aku supaya aku ngerasa secure berada di sekolah abroad. Jadi menurut aku lingkungan Hong Kong itu sangat membantu aku dan juga gampang buat beradaptasi di sana. Gak sekedar kegiatan Amazing Race juga, IDSA juga selalu aktif mengadakan banyak acara yang selalu membuat kita itu mau ikut dalam bersosialisasi dan segala macam. Nah, salah satu contohnya adalah perayaan batik di sana. Seperti yang kalian tahu tadi, Philip kan jelasin salah satu gedungnya itu, salah satu gedung ikonik Polyu itu sangat terkenal di Hong Kong dan merupakan salah satu destinasi wisata sebenarnya. Nah, kita juga ngerayain Batik Day kita di sana. Nah, seperti kalian lihat itu kita foto di sini, seperti yang foto di sini, kita ngerayain Batik Day di depan VA Core atau gedung yang tadi dijelasin itu. Nah, yang tadi aku bilang, tadi aku banyak aku mention bahwa di sana itu kita punya komunitas Indonesia untuk murid-murid Indonesia di sana. Namanya IDSA atau Indonesian Student Association. Jadi kalian nggak pernah perlu takut gimana ya rasanya kalau misalnya di luar negeri, apakah itu nyeremin atau gimana, mereka selalu ada buat aku. Jadi aku bisa bilang pengalaman aku di sana itu, walaupun aku jujur, aku tuh seorang introvert di sana, tapi aku ngerasa benar-benar engage banget sama kegiatan mereka. Mereka benar-benar friendly, mereka benar-benar make sure kita semua tuh ada secure, dan mereka selalu make sure apapun yang aku butuhkan itu ada. Dan gak sekedar Batik Day yang aku bilang, kita juga ada banyak kegiatan lain seperti barbecue atau gathering setiap minggu dan segala macamnya. Jadi menurut aku kegiatan di Poli itu benar-benar engaging banget dan sangat seru. Nah, bagi kalian yang mikir, oh aku pengen banget nih punya pengalaman di luar negeri, tapi mungkin aku nggak mampu gitu, gimana ya? Nah, tenang aja, sebenarnya aku juga bukan dari keluarga yang kaya banget. Jadi waktu aku apply ke PoliU, seperti yang tadi Philip bilang, aku mencoba apply buat beasiswanya. Nah, bagi kalian yang mau berusaha dan mau experience di luar, sebenarnya PoliU itu sangat membuka jalan bagi kalian karena mereka memberikan full scholarship yang namanya PoliU Entry Scholarship. Itu adalah scholarship yang aku dapatkan. Aku dapat uang biaya full untuk 4 tahun. Jadi bagi kalian yang, aku yakin banget kalau anak penabur itu kan banyak dibilang pintar ya, jujur sebenarnya penabur itu sangat bagus menurut aku. Nah, jadi bagi kalian yang mau coba ke luar negeri, aku saranin banget kalian buat coba ikut dan daftar untuk scholarship ini, karena menurut aku ini bagus banget. Bisa memberi jalan buat kalian yang mungkin kurang, kalian bisa dapat full scholarship dan sekolah di sana. Nah, aku bakal jelasin hari aku di sana. Seperti yang aku jelasin, Poli itu sekolah yang sangat bagus menurut aku, karena fasilitasnya itu lengkap banget. Seperti yang tadi udah jelasin, kita ada dorm, terus kita ada sekolah juga di sana. Nah, di hari aku, pagi-pagi biasa aku, kalau misalnya aku rajin, aku bisa ke gym, seperti yang kalian lihat di sana, di sini. Jadi di dorm kita itu benar-benar fasilitasnya lengkap banget. Ada gym, ada biliar, ada pingpong, ada tempat nari, dan bahkan ada komunitas juga di sana. Jadi misalkan kalian suka nari nih, di Poli itu aktif banget, jadi kita punya satu ruangan tari yang selalu ada banyak macam-macam jenis tarinya dan gitu-gitu. Jadi kayak mereka tuh lengkap banget di semua hal. Bahkan ada komunitas panah dan segala macam, dan itu benar-benar lengkap banget. Jadi menurut aku bahkan aku cuma bisa ngerasain di sana 3 bulan, tapi aku bisa ngerasain banyak banget hal. Misalkan aku ikut klub panah, aku ikut klub gambar dan segala macam. Nah, dan untuk memulai hari aku, biasanya aku mulai ke library dulu. Nah, di library ini juga sangat bagus, fasilitasnya lengkap banget. Dan di sini yang bisa kalian lihat, di sini ada Lip Cafe. Itu tempat yang biasa tempat aku sarapan di sana. Jadi tiap pagi biasanya aku selalu ke library dulu, terus aku ke Lip Cafe buat sarapan. Jadi yang bisa kalian lihat di sini tuh benar-benar nggak cuma friendly aja orangnya, tapi mereka juga sangat nyaman tempatnya. Dan pokoknya lengkap dan enak. Jadi aku saranin banget, ini tempat yang cocok banget buat kalian yang mau coba experience di luar dan mencoba hal yang baru. Sekian itu sih pengalaman aku di sana, walaupun gak terlalu lengkap, tapi aku bisa pastiin, yang aku bilang lagi, aku cuma bisa 3 bulan di sana, karena setelah itu ada pandemi di sana, dan aku harus ngelakuin sekolah dengan online. Namun namun banyak banget pengalaman baru yang aku rasain dan berkesan banget semuanya. Jadi aku rekomen banget kalian buat ada di sini. And that's it, my presentation. my
Right. Thank you.
overall my experience.
Students do know that you're a SMAC 4 graduate too, right?
I hope so.
All right. Anyhow, so yeah, I guess. Well, you can stop share screen. We can, see other people's faces if it's necessary. So as of now, I guess we'll open up for Q&A. I wonder if students may have any questions at all. If you would like, you can directly chat or you can type it on the chat box. I think that would be good. Any type of question, or if you want to direct them to Chelsea, that's fine too. You can, I guess, ask in Bahasa if you would like. So I'm opening the floor for Q&A, so feel free. Nothing? I welcome silly questions too, just in case. No. All right. Well, if there's no question as of now, again, I think that you can see that in the chat box, there's actually a link. So in there is actually the program list. So if you click into each of the program lists, you can actually see there's special details concerning the program itself, what it leads to, what's curriculum is about, is there any special requirements on that. So it's actually very informative. So if you would like, if you're interested, definitely do so. Again, if you have any questions, you can also, or later on, you can also directly email us, which I'll actually post here. So you can actually send us an email to international.study@poly.edu.hk. So we'll definitely help you out with whatever things you have. See, I wonder if nowadays you guys still use, Facebook. But if you search on Facebook, PolyUGO or PolyU Global, then you can also find us on in one of the groups. So in that sense, you can also see a glimpse of what our international students' experience is like. So there's different sharing concerning, I mentioned service learning. So there's different projects that people get involved in. So there's students who share about their experience there. Also, of course, exchange different sort of activities. As of now, of course, PolyU is actually, for this semester, it will be online. So Chelsea, I do think that you have some experience concerning online learning. So I wonder, maybe you can share a little bit about online learning, how it looks like and whatnot. Would that be okay?
The online learning is awesome. I think it's one thing that I realized about PolyU online learning is they're very engaging. We're using this app called Blackboard, and in Blackboard you can actually go. It's kind of hard to explain it, but you can go to like groups, and then the teacher can make groups and then talk to you, and then you can also talk to them personally. So it's not about only the app, but I think the professor mostly are so encouraging for us they're really, how do I say it? They're really trying their best to, make sure that people are engaging. So I remember I actually have like some difficulties, and then they're trying really hard to, contact me through like Microsoft meetings and things like that to just make sure that I actually okay or understand about the subjects. So in Indonesia, we have this kind of professor as a more highly person. And here in Hong Kong, it's just something I'm really shocked to know that in Hong Kong, professors aren't like that. Professors are actually the people that most friendly, especially I think for Poly's professors. Um, they're really trying their best and they really put priority towards their students and their learning. So I really appreciate that. And I think it's a very distinct thing for Poly to have because I've met most wonderful professor here and really helped me in becoming more um, passionate towards my major, and I really uh, I really appreciate that. So the learning experience in online teachings until right now is it's awesome, and I even really look forward for the next semester.
Okay, all right. Well, of course, if situation allows, I think face-to-face teaching is probably most preferred for students and also for professors. But as of now, of course, due to COVID, that I guess is something that we have to cope with in that sense. So we'll see. Hong Kong is improving, and hopefully Indonesia as well. But yeah, as of now, online learning is how we're delivering, and well, at least we learned that Chelsea has having a good experience, so that's good. Um, yeah. All right. Well, I guess it's still quite early in the morning, but students, again, if you have any questions, if you're or even just about Hong Kong in general, or whatnot, feel free to ask. Don't feel shy or anything. Anything is good. Question, no question is a dumb question. If you don't want to talk, you can also type in the chat box. Type in Bahasa, that's fine. Chelsea can translate. All right. How about this? I'll get at least. Well, we still have sort of like 10 minutes. I'll try to make it a little interactive in that sense. I'll throw out general questions. I would like you to type your answer. It will be a yes no question, so it's quite simple. Just type it on the chat box. Okay, so I'll see if people reply. So first up, have you considered studying in Hong Kong before? So just a yes no questions. Now I do expect answer. It's a quite simple question. Oh, okay. No. First up, it's okay. Well, yeah. You can just send it to us. Okay, I see some people, giving me the answer. Feel free. It can be private or it can be public. I don't mind. All right. Cool. All right. Now I do see some people doing no. For the ones who are interested, of course, we will be, really glad if you continue to keep contact with us. Again, international.study@poly.edu.hk. That's the general email that you can email us. Probably me, Philip. I'll be answering all your questions. But for the people who are who have not considered before, I wonder what might be the reason. So that's my follow-up question. So if you have not considered, what might be the things that hindering you from going out or considering even or whatnot? And I wonder if hearing what I just share and what Chelsea just shared, did it kind of change your mind or whatnot? So you can type it again in the chat box. I guess it's a longer answer, so it might take longer for you guys to type. And for the people who have thought about Hong Kong or type yes in my first question, I guess a general question to you guys: how are you guys enjoying online learning as of now? All right. So I'll again tackle some of the questions or concern that people have. So some people have not considered where to go to college. Yes, I think I did experience the same thing as well. It wasn't until like when I was in 11th grade or even 12th grade that I actually seriously consider like, hey, where can I go, what not. Um, so it's actually very good to start early to look around for options. And hey, for you being here, take the chance. You get to know, there's universities in Hong Kong that is, an option for you guys to choose. Of course, I do believe that later on today, you guys will learn about other universities, and it's especially good for you to start early to look out, for what you're actually interested to study, and also possibly where your future might lead. Studying outside, say, Indonesia, hey, future, you don't really know what this looks like. You can go back to, go back to your home country, or you can go out to other places as well. And so it's not confined to a certain place. So I think today, hopefully you'll be able to experience all those, getting to know different chances. Concerning Hong Kong in terms of language, well, I'll say in general for students or people, general public, will actually start learning English in kindergarten. Not that everyone might be super fluent, but they will be able to understand. And so in that sense, hopefully that kind of give you an idea what it's like. For some of the older generation, they might not be, they might not be as knowledgeable in terms of in English. And so that could be, something that people might encounter, especially in the international crowd. But just in general, like inside the school, whatnot, if you go out, going to a restaurant and all that, if you only speak English, that's fine. Okay. So you won't be running into, problems in that sense, I'll say. And also, of course, in the world as of now, COVID-19, there are students who, right, the world situation right now is really concerning. Of course, we know, but of course, also at the same time, every universities, probably from what I know, a lot of them are doing online learning, especially in the West as well. So that's a concern, I think, for every university or everywhere that, you have to consider. And is it possible to wait for it to die down? Of course, as of now, I'm not sure. You're seeing second wave, third wave, even to some of the countries. We don't know how long it'll, continue. So you don't stop looking when the problem exists. You start looking earlier. So start looking at the options. See, you can't always consider, oh, there's COVID-19, da da da. Eventually it might die down. So you have to plan ahead. And so start looking earlier. That would be my advice. All right, some question. A student have a questions. I think that's I won't name names then. I don't know whether you have talked about this or not, but how's the cost of living in Hong Kong? And if somehow I got accepted into food safety and technology, what companies could possibly give an internship offer? Food safety. So I do know that in Hong Kong, there's some huge companies. Maxim, from what I know that they're one of our partners. So students will actually get a chance to go to that food company. I guess internship in terms of like, doing lab tests and whatnot. I do have a staff here today. Her name is Aska. She's actually a PolyU student graduate as well from Indonesia. I wonder if she might be willing to talk about her experience in food safety. But I'll tackle your question concerning cost of living first. So if you're living on campus, usually price will be a little lower because a lot of things will be subsidized, say in the restaurants and whatnot. And so just then I share, it'll cost you roughly around, with tuition fees, all those living costs, whatnot, it'll cost you around 400 million rupees per year. Okay. So if you're living outside, because, on-campus housing is only guaranteed during your first 2 years. So your third year and fourth year, it's possible that you might be living outside of PolyU. So typically I'll see students, joining maybe 3 or 4 of themselves, or 4 or 5, and then renting a flat outside in the city. And so the cost might go a little higher in that sense. So hopefully that kind of gives you a general idea. All right, well, I won't push Aska, but if Aska, you're willing, you can actually type on the chat box of the internship companies that it's available to you during your time. You can type it on the chat box so that the student can actually see his option concerning the internship offer. Okay. And well, we only have 2 more minutes. Last few questions, if you would like to ask. And I guess the teacher here, Clements, feel free to stop us when the time is up. I know that you guys are running.
Well, I mean, it's okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I think it's already time, huh?
Right. Yeah. So do remind me. Yeah. Just then, there's a student who's about to ask a question. Feel free. Scholarship program for master program. We do have master and also graduate school for like say PhD and also postdoc. Concerning scholarship, I'm not sure about master program because we do have, there's taught master, there's also research master. For research master, I do think there's scholarship for taught master. So usually it will be part-time. That student will be, or people will be like, full-time worker, but while doing a part-time master program. For those, I do not think that there's scholarship. So you have to consider, if you would like to, working while studying, or if you're doing full-time research master, that you're eventually going into a research program or like PhD program in that sense. For research program, usually they're the scholarship resources. What are the program subjects in PolyU? So for program subjects, I'll share the link really fast again. So sorry, I'll actually do a public, everyone in the meeting can see. Sorry. Yeah, so this link is actually the program list that we have. So it will see all the programs that we offer. So you can go in there, click into each of them to check out, the details of it. Yeah, it is 9:30. I don't want to take the next person's time. So thank you again, every student. Nice meeting you. Keep in contact again. So thank you, Chelsea, for joining us. So hopefully we'll see each other soon in person. So thank you again, Clement.
Yeah.
So should I just leave meeting as of now?
Yes, you may.
Okay, thank you again. Take care, you guys.
Yeah. Oke, sorry Dit. Oke, sorry bahasa Indonesia. Oke, sudah waktunya untuk sesi berikutnya. So, I bakal pergi. Silahkan Lausya take over. Yang lain silakan pindah ke kelas sesi berikutnya ya. Bye. Oh,